I think the first sentence sums it up well. Well, we managed to get through to the end of 2024 still kicking.
All right, mate.
Happy... what is it?
It is Tuesday, 17th of December.
17th.
Yeah.
Ah,
This is
Christmas Eve? Is it?
It's the week before Christmas Eve, yeah.
Christmas Eve?
Yep.
This time next week?
Well, mate,
So
it's...
are we actually doing the podcast next week? Probably
No,
not.
we're not. No, this is the last one. The last one for the year.
There you
Yeah.
go. You survived a whole year.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we started in March.
Oh, we started in March?
We
Oh,
started
haven't
in
done
March.
a year. God.
No, we haven't even done a year. No, we
Yeah.
started in March. I can't remember the exact date, but let me have a quick look here.
No, it's all right. It doesn't matter.
26th of March we started.
Okay.
So, almost 9 months. It's a baby.
Yeah, exactly.
It's,
Episode 38?
yeah. And, well, I just figured it doesn't worry me. Like, I'm not here working for 2 weeks after next week. But, it's more just, there's so much things going on.
Who's going
to listen to podcasts?
On Christmas Day.
That's right. Oh, better dial in, listen to Adsy and Phil. So, I doubt there'd be a lot of beer news going on, but I'll record it. Next year's episode, first one might be huge. There might be heaps of shit
Who knows?
that we've come up with.
VAs, God knows
No,
what.
mate, that was the start of last year's one, right? That was when
VAs,
in the thick of them. So
Yeah, no, at least the VAs have died down, so...
yeah, it's sort of more now. Everyone's sort of just slowly climbing along and trying to make the best of a bad thing at the moment. Mate, before we go too much further, as always, shout out to our sponsors: Bintani, Craft Punks Canning, Convoy Kegs, Rallings Labels and Stickers, and of course,
The concern.
the concern that is Hiker Brewing.
Or should we just call it the rant? No.
No.
All my opinions are my own.
100%.
Not of Hiker. So
That's exactly right. Yeah,
know,
you're
I
a
do
person
this
too,
as,
and you are entitled to have your opinion.
Yeah, I do this as an individual, not as part of Hiker. So,
Yeah, and we actually have that clause as well on the website that our opinions are just that, and you're allowed to. And we actually welcome feedback and some discourse and opinions back. Call us out if you think we're doing wrong, and give us a shout out if you think we're doing right. You can join our Facebook group. It's Aussie Beer Voyage group on Facebook. Just search for it. It's a private group, but you can enter and you'll be approved. So
there's no stupid entry question or anything like that.
Oh, there's entry questions just to say you're going to abide by the rules and don't be a dickhead. But no, we don't have. Yeah, what's 18 times 9? Well, you're a host, mate. You jump straight in. You just.
So the first item's a little bit depressing.
As in a time sense of how much we've been talking about something that hasn't done it.
So it's like the beer can chicken.
The beer can chicken that we are still, you and I are both still angling for it.
You've created fairy bread day and stuff like that. Are you going to do beer can chicken day?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, let's do that.
And then that'll actually force you to actually do it.
That'll force us to do it. I'll create the day next year. We'll pick a Tuesday.
Beer can chicken day.
The fourth Tuesday in the year. Oh dear.
Yeah. But you did fairy bread day, so I can't see why you can't do a beer can.
100%, mate. Yeah. I was talking to Daniel the other day about chocolate crackle day, and we were talking about chocolate crackles, and he goes, "Have you had one since you've been an adult?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they taste like shit." How on earth did you eat them as a kid?
Oh yeah, I know. That was the thing when you're growing up.
But no. So I was talking to Brendan. So Brendan's making us a beer can chicken barbecue.
Yep. Nice.
And he ran out of welding equipment, and he's still putting it together. I'm going to find out on Saturday. You've met Brendan, but you probably don't remember him.
Yeah, maybe I have. But
he was in here for Back to the Future Day.
Oh, okay, cool.
But yeah. So he's just run out of some welding equipment. I'll find out what he needs, and I might see if I can spring it for him.
Yeah.
Because Brendan is the one, like my friends who live up in Mount Tambourine, so Carol's the one not doing well health-wise. So she's just got a clusterfuck of things going on. So shout out Carol, love you, and see you on Saturday for a hug, and for one of my annual beer events that I'm throwing up. But so I'll find out off Brendan what he needs to do our beer can chicken barbecue. And hopefully next year, watch this space.
Beer can chicken.
We'll start the beer can chicken reviews that we've been promising all year.
Oh dear. Anyway,
episode 5. It was
episode 5. We're only at 38, so 33.
Dear.
Well, should we just make it like? What date was episode 5? That should be beer can chicken day.
Maybe that's. Yeah, you're right. Maybe we should.
Anyway, we'll work out the date.
Yep.
But
it was
we
the
get it
23rd
earlier.
of April. 23rd of April. So it's probably a good day.
Just before Anzac Day. So
Right. Before Easter it was.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, the year's flown, so it's like been. Yeah, it's can't
Well,
believe
lots
we're in
has-
December. Hey.
Lots has happened. I was working at a different place. Now I'm working here.
Yeah. I know. It's
know,
like, it's a bit crazy. So
Yeah. You've got 2 venues.
Third on the way.
You keep saying that, scaring the shit out of me. Oh dear.
Always looking.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyway, yeah. So and have you got your for your YouTube one? Is that this Sunday is your last one?
So Sunday just gone was our last episode just posted. We wrapped up our year in review. And it started out, so the start of the year, because normally Joel gets me to do the clapping to sync the audio. Remember how we did that when we did our podcast? And this year I made all of our guests do the clap. And it's my favourite bit out of the entire interviews that we've done all year is this little montage of everyone doing these claps the whole way through. And it's been great and looks good. And looking back at the year in review, Joel and I love going back and looking at what we've done because we've done a lot.
How many episodes you done?
So same amount as last year, 24.
Okay.
So that includes the awards and the year in review. So that's 22 interviews.
Are you running out of people to talk to?
No. This year, I keep saying this year, 2025, we're hoping to go down to Sydney for a few days and do a whole bunch of interviews around Marrickville and go out and see James and Charlie and Dan out at Rouse Hill for Esker Brewing. A whole heap of things down there.
Nice.
So, and I was talking to some people down at Wollongong and whatnot, even further outside of Sydney. So I'm not sure, but we wouldn't be able to do it, without our sponsors, like you guys, Rallings, Pintani, all of the craft punks, Convoy. I better mention them all once I start. Wouldn't be able to do any of that without them. It'll be a lot more limited. It's something we're looking forward to doing because, as Joel and I say, you can't just be a beer voyage if you travel around Brizzy.
No, true.
So, but there's also some cool people that we want to interview. Rallings, man, we haven't even got them on yet. We keep asking. Brad and Paul. I really liked because when what was the other one that Brad was on? Beer Healer or something? The Beer Healer, that was a great interview. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, and I keep him to that all the time where he goes, if you fuck up, we're here to get you out of the shit.
We'll get you out of the shit. It does help that they're
hey Brad.
Helps that they're only 500 metres down the road too.
Yeah. hey, actually, that reminds me, we've got to get some more trays before they close up for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah. Take note of that.
We better...
Okay, Google.
Just
ruined everyone.
So, Daniel, if you're listening...
Daniel?
We're not doing Dougal's roster this week. But
there he is.
Don't forget, we've got to get some more trays from Rowlings before they close up.
Yeah. That's exactly that. That's where they're doing a call out. Yep.
Yeah, no, they're good, and we're very lucky because they're just around the corner, so we're their local. So
I haven't had a chance to get. I need to email them too, actually, but different thing.
Yeah, Brad and Paul are good guys, so
mate. some news came down the wire on the email today to all the brewers and breweries and people who have an email account associated with the IBA, which is the Independent Brewers Association of Australia, that they're not going to be doing BrewCon next year in 2025, which I must say isn't a surprise because in the last 5 years I think they've had it once.
Yeah, with COVID and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so.
which COVID, it's not their fault or anything.
Not
it's more just a generalisation. But they're also cancelling the Indies, the Indie Beer Awards for 2025.
Hiatus.
Yeah, but they are partnering with the IBAs, the Melbourne show, and having 2 trophies that are independent only through the IBA Awards.
Yeah.
But still, it's pretty big news, isn't it? Like,
it's massive, and I think even I don't know. I've just pulled up the email now. I think the first sentence sums it up well. Well, we managed to get through to the end of 2024, still kicking.
Yeah.
So what message does that send?
It's not sending we're excited and looking forward to it next year.
No, and then they then going, oh, we're feeling weary, but like we're going to have feeling positive about the summer ahead and blah blah blah. But
yeah,
I just don't think that's. No, this is me personally. I just don't think that's the right tone. Like it's been a tough year. It's been a tough year for a
lot of breweries
and
closed,
stuff like that. And I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
and hospitality and general has been difficult, which in turn is what breweries are.
Yep.
Which that's been difficult as well. We're well aware of the difficulties, but we're all paying our fees.
Yeah.
As breweries to be part of the IBA.
Yeah.
What's out there now? Like because don't they own?
I have really great concerns. Hey,
Beer Week as well.
Yeah, they own Good Beer Week as well. Yep. I've had chats with,
and that hasn't ever happened.
No, exactly. So they bought that like probably at the peak, and then COVID hit, or just after the peak.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've just got I'm really concerned because, like.
If you sit on the fence, right? Pretend you're not a. Oh, I don't know how to pretend, because we are in it. Like, where do you want to put your dollars into something? What are we getting back? Like, there's a lot of breweries in a lot of different situations.
Yeah.
So, you guys are pretty unique as Hiker. You and Dan decided very early on you don't want to wholesale, you don't want to grow any bigger than the excise limit. That's your business model, and for good reason.
Yeah.
And so all of the excise debate and everything that the IBA takes on really doesn't do anything.
Well, I suppose that's my issue. I'd love to actually go through and do an analysis of how many of the IBA members are actually under the threshold.
Yeah.
So, like, it is a big thing. Like,
yes.
But it's not a big thing for everyone.
No.
Like, for me, it may be a big thing in 10 years' time, and we should probably start looking at it maybe 5.
Yeah.
So, but at this point, what craft breweries that are under the threshold are actually going to go over it? There's no one doing exponential growth.
Well, everyone's sort of declined at the moment, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like, people have fit into their business model, and like you look at all the breweries that were sort of in that, in that high volume, high wholesale.
Yeah,
they're the ones that have gone into VA and stuff.
Yep.
So and you see like breweries from interstate pulling back sales reps.
Yeah.
From different states. So they're actually everyone's sort of bunkering down and trying to get local, whether local is their state or their suburb or whatever.
Yep.
That people are pivoting to actually to make it work for them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like my whole thing is I'd love to know from Kylie, one of the sentences is the 2024 Indies ran at a loss as entries, entrance, and sponsorship income were significantly down from previous years. And with the current economic environment, we simply can't take the risks, so we've had to make the super difficult decision to shelve the Indies in 2025. So,
yep.
and I get it. Like, I've run beer competitions. I've run Royal Queensland Beer Awards.
Yep.
And And one of the proud things that I've did with that was our entry fees were, I think when we started was like $70 or something. I think they've gone up to 93 or something.
They're still under $100.
They're still under $100, but the RNA could substantiate that because back then we got some massive sponsors, like we had urban utilities, SEQ Water, like with desalinated.
Yep.
They threw in like 30 grand sponsorship. Then we had the desal water thing, but also like the RNA owns the building, so you don't have to rent a location.
Yep.
They've got we used all the glasses and everything were there from the Royal Queensland Wine Awards.
Yep.
So we had the special glass washer, we had everything like that. And then even then we still ran on the smell of an oily rag. Like Graham, who was the honorary council steward, like he volunteered. He had a forklift ticket. Like so we actually had people that were actually, doing stuff. We begged, borrowed, and stole, tap systems from different places. Like we ran that really lean to keep the entry fees down.
Do you think that maybe like the Indies are going to be, because they've got the 2 trophies now in the ABAs, and that maybe that partnership will grow and there will be like a ABAs Indies judging more at the same time? Like there might not necessarily be more trophies given from the ABAs, but it might be while the ABAs are being judged.
I just think it just like I get why like this year they've partnered with IBA, but I just think it just dilutes the brand.
Yeah,
it's just like.
Well, it does. The ABAs accept everyone from everywhere, all over the world.
I just think it dilutes it, like, because like for me, like AIBAs is probably the pinnacle for an Australian brewery, even though like it's like there's international. But like if you win something there, like that's the best of the best.
100%.
Because they get like 2,500, 3,000 entries. Can't remember the numbers. But I don't know.
Southern Hemisphere's largest beer comp.
Well,
annual beer comp, isn't it? Because the World Beer Cup's now annual. So
it used to be. Yeah, so it's the biggest. It would be like the World Beer Cup moved to annual in 2022. Mm-hmm. So before then, it was AIBA's always like claimed to be the biggest annual, but they would be the biggest annual draft beer competition. Yeah, because World Beer Cup is only packaged.
Yep.
So. But yeah, I don't know. Like I just really like, and they lost money in 2024, and I think entries were down. I think entries were down for every beer competition. But I don't know. I just feel like.
Do you think the IBA can survive this? Like who's?
I actually worry. Like
do you think in 2026 there's going to be an IBA to even be able to have an Indies and a BrewCon?
Well, where are they going to get the money from?
Yeah.
They're burning cash at the moment. Like there's no revenue generating things. Like the Indies should like at least cover costs. So, and I'd love to delve into the numbers about how much.
You are a numbers man.
Yeah, I'd love to know. The decision to have it in Western Australia, and I respect our brethren in Western Australia, but
the reason it was in Western Australia wasn't it? Was because that's where BrewCon was going to be held.
Yeah.
And then when BrewCon got cancelled,
and me reading between the lines and that. So when BrewCon was on the Gold Coast, one of the major sponsors was West Australian Government.
Yeah. Okay.
So I actually think this is only me. I have no information
whether this is the factual,
whatever. But I think their hand was forced to have it in West Australia So and they did it with WABA. They did it with WABA, and
which is a great organisation.
Oh yeah, no, totally. But I think for them to keep the contractual arrangement, that sponsorship, this is only
conjectural.
This is only me like surmising because I've been in the sponsorship game and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because the Western Australian government was a sponsor of BrewCon on the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
So, but I also obviously entries were down. I think Royal Queensland Beer Awards, their entry numbers were down this year because it was doing a 20% growth, and then it fell a bit this year. I know AIBAs were down, and I think I can't remember who I was talking to. I think maybe it was Annalise, one of the board members of the IBA, and I think it was basically the same percentage of entries were down for Indies compared to AIBAs.
Yep.
So I vaguely recall that, though. I think they were all about the same.
Yeah.
But I think it's just like the logistics and things like that. And I think running it in Perth. I also think whether that also had an impact on entry numbers, because like even by judges had to pretty much pay their own way.
Yep. I think that's always the way though with
the
Indies. You pay your own way.
They'll
totally. Put you up if you go there.
But if you're on the Eastern Seaboard, if you got to fly from Sydney to Brisbane, because it was in Brisbane the last time.
Yep.
That's $100 each way or whatever. Yeah. That's justifiable. Whereas
WA is $450, $500
exactly.
sort of. Yeah. So I think it's obviously the cost thing. Like cost of everything has gone up. But it is sad that there's not a better way for it to come out. Because the entries, what are the entries for IBA? Like 280 something, 290 something like that.
I think they're up there. Yeah. So.
I know I was working at a different brewery when the Indies were around, so we put in less beers because we had to pay to ship them all to WA. And I get, there's Western Australia have a heap of breweries. Whenever those competitions are on, they've got to get together and send them over this side. It all makes sense. Australia's a big country. It's very difficult to do this sort of stuff.
It's also like you look at,
concentration.
I'm not, blowing steam up my own backside, and it was more a Hendo thing, was like to get on the Shoe Bridge and stuff like that. So for Royal Queensland Beer Awards, it was free transport from Sydney and Melbourne.
Yep.
So that's part of their sponsorship arrangements. So to just try and alleviate some of that cost.
Yeah.
And that's sponsorship dollars is tough to get at the best of times. But I think but I do get it. But I actually think that it's very early to actually call it. I think they should have really put some pressure on some of the big suppliers and actually go,
what can you do to help us?
Yeah. Or, and even
how can we pull this off as
a
trimmed down version or something?
And even talk to the agricultural societies going, you've got the facilities, you've got
use your space.
You've got the equipment, what can you do? Is there a quiet time of year where you've got latent capacity in your venue space that we could actually
put it in?
So that's, I think, and that's and it all comes down to time and effort and everything like that. And running a beer competition
that's a huge
it's
logistical
a big,
nightmare.
That's when I used to work at the RNA. People would go, you only work 10 days a year at ECA, and it's just like, it's all the other bits and bits. And you need support and stuff like that. So I don't know. But in summary, I actually concerned how many more breweries are going to actually withdraw from the IBA because of these decisions.
If the income is going down and you don't feel like you're getting anything really back from the IBA that you want, it's money that if you give to the IBA, it can be better spent in your brewery on events to make income and cash flow happen. Right?
Yeah, exactly. You look at, that's if they haven't got the staff to do it, how are they going to generate the revenue to actually be able to pull it out of the shit heap that it is?
Yep.
I haven't got the answer. I'm not on the board, and
we don't know what's going on.
We don't know, and Annalise did ring me before the podcast.
We do love you, Annalise.
we love you.
We also love the IBA. That's the other thing too. We're not.
No, and I think they're trying
to be disparaging and angry.
No, but I'm just concerned. Right? I'm really concerned. But that's we're not trying to bag them, whatever. And obviously they've made the financial decision to keep afloat. But how do you turn the ship around?
If you don't have a revenue stream, what's your step?
Yeah, what is the strategy?
If your only revenue stream is the menu, people signing up.
Yeah, and a couple of minor, a couple of sponsors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if people aren't seeing value, because one of the perceived values was discounted entries into Indies, and discounted tickets to BrewCon.
Yep.
That's not there anymore. That's
gone. That carrot is gone.
So, what is the benefit?
Yeah.
That's mean, like, I had a good chat to Annalise about something else, and then she gave us an update about what's happening on, and definitely, we did speak about the cost of running the competitions and stuff like that, and I totally get that. But yeah, I just do worry that
it doesn't necessarily justify.
Well, I think it's short-term financial solution, versus long-term. What's the damage that's actually going to? They need to come out. They need to come out hard in the beginning of 2025 before membership fees are due and stuff like that. And Annalise did say from a Queensland perspective that they're organising a catch-up in early Feb.
Yep.
To get all breweries, whether members or not, together.
I looked on the calendar. There's the mash-up as well in April planned.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think it's time. I think it's going to be
tough.
It's going to be an interesting few little while. So anyway, that's probably enough about that.
Yes.
Go on for ages, but no, we do love the IBA, and we wish them, I think the board is making decisions that hard decisions they need to make. But,
that's right.
And we're not privy to everything. So what's the next one? Evil Mega Corp has no plans to grow.
Yeah. So have you caught up on this article from the Crafty Pint at all?
No, I'm just looking at it.
So Evil Mega Corp has no plans to grow. It's a one-man operation.
Is that what his brewery's called?
Yes. Yeah. Yep. And it's it's just full-on satire.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have a tap room, and he doesn't sell his beer wholesale.
Oh, really?
No, it's 100% subscription-based brewery. So
yeah, nice.
He's gone through. At one stage he was working. So he used to be the head brewer at Other Side Brewing, and at one stage he was just working 7 days a week, both venues, trying to just pull off all the things. Other Side Brewing, like a lot of other breweries at the moment, are trying to drop their ABVs down, get more approachable beers, just get more beer into people's hands and down their throat.
Yep.
Whereas because he's got this full capacity to do what he wants, he's just brewing all sorts of things. So yeah, he's got the first one out was like a bourbon oaked imperial brown ale, and he's done all sorts of things since then. Like
nice
grisette featuring forbidden black rice and hibiscus, which was a hazy double IPA, a Belgian double or Dubel with pineapple terpenes. He's just got. I think he's found his cool little niche that he wants to do, and what he says is he doesn't want it to grow. He doesn't want it to get too big, or he needs to put on staff and pay people. He wants to be able to get it to a point where he's finding that work-life balance of it pays for itself and it pays for him and his life, but he's not also got the chalice around the neck where it's holding him down. And
it's interesting.
Super interesting article. I really loved it. I love the.
Oh, it's a different business model. Interesting. And subscription's hard. I wish him. Yeah, good on him.
Yeah. I love the whole oxymoron of. We're a brewery, but you can only get a subscription and things like that. It was a really good read. Will from Crafty Pint went all the way over there and had a chat to him, and very, very cool article. So if you haven't ever heard of them, I actually hadn't, and I would be sort of wondering how the beers would travel from WA to be a subscriber. I'd be pretty cool to check it out.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So give it a read. The link will be in the show notes. You can find all the stuff we talk about with links. You can find it in the show notes. The next one is something that you would be quite familiar with. This is a real estate article that I found. multiple venues just make good commercial sense.
Really?
Hiker wasn't mentioned.
I can't believe it.
Hey,
Maybe when you get a third. So.
Yeah. No, and I'm not on real estate, commercial spaces website topics news very often, but I found this one.
Yeah, well, it does make sense.
Yeah, but it does talk. It talks about Moondog, talks about felons, even mentions Pirate Life and Brewdog and a lot of those guys in there. I don't know why it doesn't mention Hiker, but it also doesn't mention Black Hops and a couple of the other, like Ballistic and Slipstream and those as well. So I remember a couple of weeks ago that I said is, I think like the new thing is like, which what you're going for, right, is the new little venues are the places to make the money.
Yeah.
You want to put your beer into venues that you control and be able to sell your beer through those.
Yeah.
And control all facets of your industry that you can.
Yeah. No, totally.
That full vertical integration.
That's exactly. So it's definitely the model. It's the model that Daniel and I are pushing really hard, and you know, it's getting there. So and it'll be even better when we get a third venue.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
And we'll announce that very soon.
Yeah, that'll be next week's podcast.
That'll be April Fool's Day. Yeah, no, but it's I think it makes sense. So I think like obviously, I'd love to have deeper pockets. So you know, it all costs money. Obviously, there's like we were very fortunate with East Brisbane. Didn't cost us a lot. So
we were able to get it open.
Whereas like you look at the likes of Brewdog and Fallons and they've got deep pockets, so they can afford that capital expenditure.
Well, one of the interesting comments made in there is from like the Brewdog guys is that we want people to know that when they walk into a Brewdog venue, that they know they're in a Brewdog, that it's a Brewdog space.
We do that by the beer.
That's right. Yep. It says Hiker. Buy the beer.
Yeah. My motive of my philosophy of no black didn't go well for Hiker Express.
That's right.
Had to embrace it.
Yeah.
Embrace the black. Yeah. No, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Free pots of beer at Christmas.
Mate.
Where are we doing that?
Free beer at Molly Rose. This is definitely not Queensland.
I'm about to say, imagine if we put a post up here, Ross would be onto us like...
Mate, everyone would be like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, New South Wales are very different, hey? Like,
totally.
I follow a few breweries down there and it's like, like happy hour posts and like, it's a whole... Yeah.
Well,
so how do you get
so Molly Rose is in Victoria.
Oh, yeah.
So, but even so, right? Like it's not only that, it's Christmas Day. So it's only on Christmas Day. He opens
they're
up
open.
They're open on Christmas Day for 30 minutes, and it's a pot. 10 a.m. They open on Christmas Day, and you get a pot of beer. And
can we do that?
I don't know, because in Queensland the laws
we can't
on responsible
open on
service, you can't open on Christmas Day unless you provide a meal, and the meal can't just be a bowl of chips. It has to be a substantial meal that comes from a proper menu.
So we do that on Boxing Day.
If you want to give away free beer, but in Queensland
like for 30 minutes.
You can't advertise free beer in Queensland.
No. Okay.
That's it.
I don't want to give away free beer either, but
no, I know. Yeah, but no. The Queensland laws are way different. You can't even mention free and beer in a post.
Ah. Okay.
So
that's got I'm going to think about that.
Yeah, I do find it funny. I love finding the funny in some of these things. In 2022, opened the brewery for half an hour on Christmas Day to pour free pots of beer. It's a tradition he's adhered to every year since. Well, like 2 years. Don't take me wrong, I find it really awesome.
Tradition.
And I think it's great, but it's only been 2 years.
Yeah.
But it would be a cool tradition. I imagine that as it grows, and it would grow, It'd be the sort of thing that people would add into their day on Christmas. I'm going over to the oldies, but I'm going to duck in quickly to Molly Rose on the way.
I think it's a good.
I think it's a great community thing, and I don't know how to do it. There's no way to do it in Queensland with the free beer.
But we should actually. Yeah, okay. I'll take something offline. So.
Yep.
Just thinking it through.
If that noise you're hearing, it's Phil thinking, how can I turn this into the commercial success that I
No, I was thinking more for our lost hikers. So, we actually haven't invited them up for like a Christmas celebratory beer. So maybe we should do that on Christmas Eve. Invite them up to have a beer.
Hey, this time last year we were planning on putting that pool down, that your inflatable pool down, and filling it up with the CLT.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this Australia is like biosecurity is pretty important.
100%.
So we take it seriously.
Yeah.
But Brettanomyces
is
banned.
Not allowed in the country. Yeah, it's
What's going on there?
Yeah, so I'm not sure how long that has been the case. The thing is that if you look on the page from the Australian government, the list of approved starter cultures, Brettanomyces isn't in the approved starters, but it is also not included in the ones that you can bring in. Because it's not included in what you're allowed to bring in, you're obviously not allowed to bring it in. And
I gotta love bureaucracy.
Yeah. But does Brettanomyces fall under brewer's yeast? Is it a yeast?
Well,
can you argue that it's a yeast?
I don't know too much about Brettanomyces in regards to does it.
Yeah, we need Jake from Helios or someone.
Yeah, but his Brettanomyces got nuked.
Yeah.
So that's how we got alerted to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so brewer's yeast. That's what I mean. Like Brettanomyces, does it produce ethanol? Like I don't know.
Yeah, it does. Well, I assume. I'm the same as you. I've never played around with Brett, and I have once, but that wasn't on purpose. It just got into my ferment, and I didn't want it there.
Interesting. Yeah. Anyway,
But yeah, so watch this space. It might be interesting to see some of these mixed ferment places. I mean, there's Brettanomyces in nature. You can go around and find it around.
Yeah.
Whether or not that just spurs on places like, I doubt that things like bluestone yeast and whatnot are going to try and bring out a Brettanomyces strain, because they wouldn't do that in their
you wouldn't do it
in their facility for sure.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. So it'll be watch this space. So,
mate, mold in China, 10,000 years ago, they have found rice beer evidence that was brewed in China 10,000 years ago, using this mold called Monascus mold, which also was brewed with yeast, but they can tell from what they've found that it was controlled fermentation.
Yeah.
And it adds to the history of not only rice cultivation in China and surrounds, but also to brewing and beer. And it just shows that, tens of thousands of years ago, we were domesticating rice and using it as best we could to make beer, which we all love now. Which I think
amazing where it's come and where it's going.
So Monascus mold is a key ingredient in the production of red yeast rice beer. I don't know if you've seen that. Hitachino Nest, I don't know if you've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
They also do a red rice cream ale, which is a great beer. So there's a whole lot of stuff historical that
it's interesting.
Yeah, it's super cool, very interesting. And mate, the last one, again from China. They're growing barley in Mongolia and other places like that. So for years, China has been the biggest importer around the world of barley, yeast, hops, and
interesting.
They want to reduce that. Obviously,
I wonder if they were getting it from Ukraine. I wonder whether the cost went higher because of the war.
Australia was actually the biggest exporter to China, 70%. Used to go to China, and whenever
So what impact's that going to have on the Australian beer industry? Probably a good one.
Probably a good one in
because
2020.
The price of barley should come down.
Well, in 2020, Canada, France, and Argentina took the place of Australia, but 3.8 million metric tons of barley is what was imported in 1 year. That's a lot of barley. China make the most beer in the world, and they're the biggest consumers of it.
3.8 million metric tons. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So
I would have thought they would have got more, but anyway,
So China brews more beer than anyone, and they consume more beer than anyone.
Yeah.
It's a numbers game.
Yeah. Right. So it's not good. It's probably not good for like I suppose the wheat belt or whatever in Western Australia.
Oh no, the exporters in Australia probably won't like it, but
it'll be good.
China
it should drive our costs down.
Yeah,
it's funny because like we have seen some price reductions in like our malt.
Yeah, okay.
Late, so this may be part of the flow-on effect.
Yeah, well, there's also some new local barley varieties that they've grown over there.
Yeah.
And that they've bred with external varieties to make their yields stronger, be able to grow in certain weather, those sort of things. So their yields have increased on the same plot of land by about 10%.
Okay.
Which, at the end of the day, it helps the world. The smaller, lower food miles
totally.
is better for everyone.
Yep. No, I think that's good.
Regardless of whether we're exporting barley or not, it's better for everyone. It's
probably just another...
Do you reckon do they export barley or malt? Do we malt everything here and export the malt? What's cheaper? Wouldn't it be cheaper to export the malt because it's lighter?
Well, they export the malt, because it's more of a developed product. It would be less weight.
Yeah, but you're paying more.
But I dare say it's just like truckloads of ships just with barley and then get malted over there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, it's interesting. I'd like to actually research that a bit more because that'll bring. So they're doing hops over there as well.
They are looking to grow hops. I'm not sure.
I reckon that'll be in big bloody greenhouses.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of that going on. The research we talked about a couple of articles where
you look at hilltops, like with the artificial lights and stuff, getting 2 yields a year.
Yeah.
I know they. On paper, I'm not talking out of school. I had a beer with Andrew a couple of weeks ago.
He'll message me and say,
Phil
shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. No, because they transplanted a lot of stuff to their new facility.
Yep.
They've had a significant death rate.
Oh, okay.
So
right.
Yeah, so it'll be like the next harvest will be smaller. I don't know by how much, but it's whether it's just moving different soils or whatever. So. Yeah, so they're pretty philosophical about it, but you've got to look at the long term. So, like that, they've proven artificial light, you can get 2 yields, and I'm sure China will be pumping that like there's no tomorrow. So,
well, I'm pretty sure there was a research thing in Japan with the Philips UV light. They were growing them in greenhouses, and you were getting up to 4 harvests of hops in a year.
Yeah, okay.
Because it doesn't matter about seasons; they don't actually need to go dormant.
Yep.
So, mate, thank you for the year.
No, thank you.
Yeah, it's been fun and interesting. We talked about all sorts of stuff, and it's been good.
Had different hosts. Who have you had? You had Daniel on.
Had Daniel on a few times. Matty Wolf has been here a couple of times.
Yeah, so is he smuggling in Britannomycin? I think you messaged him.
No, but he is smuggling in a. While I was overseas, I did ask him to bring back a beer that he could find for you and Dan, just as thanks from me. So he found a cool beer. And
was that Russian River, lucky bastard?
Oh yeah, he was. He even went out and did like a brewery tour. He showed me some of the photos.
Yeah, nice.
He's had lots of beers on his little beer journey.
Yeah.
While he's been over there.
Yeah. We've all had our little beer voyages.
Well, he'll be at mine on Saturday. So.
What's that, sorry?
He'll be at mine on Saturday. Yeah, nice. He'll probably be jet lagged. I think he flies in that day.
Yeah.
But I don't care. Have a Monster or a Red Bull and harden up, mate.
Suck it up.
Yeah.
He's only a TAFE teacher anyway.
That's exactly right. How hard is he really working?
Yeah.
TAFE teachers don't work.
No.
Too easy. Right, cheers, mate.
All right. Merry Christmas to all the listeners.
Yep. Happy New Year.
And if you want anything to discuss next year or whatever,
jump on the Facebook group, join it. Let us know what you're talking about, what you want to hear.
Yeah.
And if you want anything in particular.
So everyone have a safe Chrissy, enjoy your beers, and
pour it out.
And take a hike, not too far. Or if you want to take a hike to hike.
That's right, both venues are open. Cheers, mate. See ya.
Bye.